been in quite the creative rut recently, like overthinking every project, every client project, every personal project. Even this very video, I've spent like 2 weeks and 4 or 5 separate attempts coming outside to try and film this, to switch it up from my usual indoor videos, and it's a very new thing for me and I've struggled a lot to do it. So in this video I'm going to go over a few things that I've been telling myself during this dilemma that have started to help me, and how you can do the same, because it's a very common issue among creative people. So I started filming this at 2 p.m. today. It is now 8 p.m. and I've run out of sunlight, so this is going to have to do now. But getting back onto the things I've told myself that have started to help me get out of this creative dilemma. The first one is to zoom out. Start viewing every single piece of work that you do as a lifelong project. Literally thousands, tens of thousands of mini projects over decades. And the reason this works is because it takes a lot of pressure off of this one specific project from having to be perfect, because if you have 10,000 projects, one being like not so good doesn't really matter, because you can just move on to the next one pretty quickly and make that one slightly better. And when I really think about the creative people I look up to the most, it's usually people that have a massive backlog of work. But that doesn't mean I like every single piece they make. I just like the fact that they have decades of work to show their progression over time. So I think it's a good way to look at your own work too. Like, contrary to what my Instagram story might suggest, I don't like every Drake song. I don't like everything that Virgil Abloh's ever made. But what makes all of their work cool is the sheer size of both of their portfolios of work. So whatever you're working on right now, a YouTube video, an Instagram reel, a poster, client work, whatever it is, don't put too much importance on it and just see it as one project in a series of thousands. Next is the feedback cycle. So there's a very popular phrase in the writing space, which is write first, edit later. And I want to change the meaning of it slightly to work for this video, which is create first, think later. So the original quote basically translates to get the thoughts onto the page first and then fix them later. You can't fix what isn't there to start with, so get them on the page first. And you can treat any creative field like this, because if you try and think during the creative process and give yourself feedback, first of all, critiquing your own work isn't a very good use of your time, because you're very biased to the work because you're making it. And second of all, it's hard to give feedback in general when the thing isn't finished yet. So make the thing first, get it out there, and then use other people's feedback to improve your next piece of work. Now, next up is a reminder that your improvement is gradual. You're not going to jump from 0 to 100 from one piece of work to the next. It just doesn't work like that. But when you get into creative ruts and overthinking and doubting your own work, you immediately jump to, this work isn't good enough, I'm not improving fast enough, blah blah blah. So slow down. This is your reminder that your work doesn't need to go from 0 to 100. You don't need to go from, this is my first video ever, to this belongs on Netflix. That's not how progress works. So with every project, whatever that project is, take one aspect of it and improve it a tiny bit, 1%. For example, when I design posters, I'll take the text elements, for example, and I'll mess around with typography. Then the project after that, I'll improve my color combinations and gradients and making sure my color theory is on point. And then the next 3 or 4 posters after that, I might focus on composition. And over time, you build this arsenal of skills around whatever you're working on. But you can't focus on all of those within one project. You have to take it one at a time and improve gradually. In my case, with video editing, I have spent a good 3 years straight just working on text. Like my client videos, I'll focus so much time on the composition of text and using the right fonts and making sure it looks beautiful on screen. It's way too dark. It is way too dark. Not me filming with an ND filter when there's no sun outside. On that note, I just want to make a final comment about perfectionism, because you can lie to me all you want. You suffer from it. Every creative person does, whether they want to admit it or not. Basically, perfectionism is this unattainable standard that we hold ourselves to that changes every time we improve. But I realized recently that perfectionism kills output. It just completely stops you from getting anything done. But output also kills perfectionism. It works both ways. If you manage to just ignore your own brain telling you that it's not finished or not perfect or not good enough, and just make it anyway and make it quicker than you normally would, and then quickly move on to the next thing, you can just completely kill the thoughts that tell you the work isn't good enough. And it takes time. You need to like build up that momentum first. But if you keep that in mind, move from project to project quickly, don't put as much importance on the individual work, I think you'll be okay. Although this video did take me a ridiculous amount of time and like 6 different locations. This was my advice to you, but also to myself at the same time. So yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next video.